Next on the agenda is Bill Vino. He is with our Martha's Vineyard Commission, senior planner, and he will be talking about the planning process and experiences.
Hi everyone. I've been working with a group that the Commission has, it's called the Pedestrian and Bicyclist Advisory, Planning Advisory Committee. For a number of years now, we've just released a plan that is consultant has done for us to try to link up the existing bike path network, shared ways, which is down Island, to try to plug the gaps. And during that process, we were aware of a lot of the problems with the bike paths being adjacent to the roadways, as has been outlined by several speakers here. I'll come back to that in a moment. Mrs. Murray had mentioned basically the planning process, that you kind of look at a topic or a problem and analyze it. You ID the problem, then you can identify alternatives to address that problem and evaluate those alternatives, the pros and cons of those, and then select a solution. And maybe the solution is no action, that you're okay with the way things are. But you need to go through that process. So in identifying the problem, is it accidents? Well, if it's accidents, what are the cause of an accident? If it's congestion or speed of traffic, evaluate what it is that's causing that, what you can do that, then help shapes your alternatives as you look at it. Then after you select an alternative, you implement it and monitor it and maybe revisit it. So it'll work the way you envision it. For a bike path, depending on whether it's if there's going to be state funds involved or not, will influence the path, or so to speak, the direction that that approval process takes. If there are state funds involved, then it kind of goes through what's called a TIP, a Transportation Improvement Plan, through the Island's Joint Transportation Committee, which each town has a representative to. And it gets on this 4-year plan. One of the problems with getting projects on there is it usually requires that the locality has a survey down up front, maybe some preliminary engineering in terms of what it wants to do. And oftentimes there isn't money to fund that initial work that's required to get on the tip. If it's done just through local funds, like the bike path on Henry Creek Road a few years ago, it's just a town meeting approves the money for it. If there's enough issues about the layout and stuff, I'm sure there's public hearings for that. But ultimately, the town meeting decides let's go ahead with the project. Going back to the issue of the bike paths aside of the road, and Roger was mentioning along the studies that clearly document there are definite problems with many bike paths that adjacent to roadways. But what's not as clear from the studies though is that the community's having to do something. And it may be that some of those wish they hadn't put bike paths in. But the point is that the cyclists are going, in the case of downtown Egerton, they're going to the same places where all the cars are going. So you can't have the bike path out in the middle of Catania. They're going down to the store and shops. And in many cases, the locations with a lot of bicycle traffic will have the bike lanes and have a whole infrastructure for bike lanes. You still have to address the pedestrians. Last year, New York Avenue was resurfaced right in front of the NBC building. And we urged the Mass Highway to their their main thing is to resurface it and make the width of the roadway uniform, because it narrowed and expanded different areas. So we asked them to take that opportunity to, when they made it a uniform width, to narrow the travel lanes to 10.5 feet, and so they could widen the shoulder area a bit and improve the shoulder. And so they did that. It's a tremendous improvement. Cyclists like it a lot, but you still have pedestrians walking, a foot away from traffic that's going 25, 35 miles an hour. That's not what we should strive for, I don't think. New York Avenue is a little bit different than Chappy Road. So you have to look at what situations you have here, but really consider all the options. Identify really what is the problem, what you're trying to solve.